Hello everyone. Welcome in. Welcome. What's new? What's happening? Sorry I was a bit late tonight. Today has been a definitely low energy day. Just trouble getting anything done today.
Happy Friday the 13th, Chef. Cheers to another great month.
Thank you, Will. Greatly appreciate that. And yes, to another great month. Please tell me I grade. Yeah, okay. Graded. Ground. Some coffee. So, beef and rice tonight. I've had ground beef taking up room in my fridge for almost a week now. I mean, it's been in there a minute, and it looks like it's been there a minute. So we're going to be doing ground beef with a little bit of a Creole twist. This is essentially, it's a little bit of a cross between red beans and rice, but also a Creole interpretation of a Cuban dish. And the changes there being, we're going to do a little andouille, but the andouille is only really going to be essentially flavoring the pan, adding a little oil and fat into the whole party. And I'm not going to be using any green pepper tonight, which I think of Trinity when I'm thinking of either Creole or Cajun. Fixing the autofocus on the camera. Realizing that, oh hey, I don't have any half and half left here. Awesome. Cheers, folks. Welcome in. Happy Sunday to you. Or Friday. Jumping ahead in time. It's because the Sunday prompt just pumped up in front of me just before saying that. Brain just automatically swapped it for some reason. Welcome in, Zeke. Happy to see you, Will. Thank you again for that resub. And, yeah, lots of friendly faces in here early tonight. What are we going to start with? I think I'm going to start... Let's prep all our veggies. Ah, we're still tied even. So I'm not using much of this tonight. Just a little bit to, like I said, sort of season the pan, give a little flavor for everything else. You'd be surprised how much andouille can remind you of bologna when it's chopped up. Do I want to do it? No, I don't. I want to do it in... Oh, wow, you're buried. Not dirty rice. I've done dirty rice before on stream. I don't know what I'm doing for sure on Tuesday. We might do something along that line. I've also been looking for local sources of crawfish, which is looking like a no-go. I mean, it would have to be probably frozen this time of year anyways. But fresh or frozen doesn't seem like it's possible. As I was saying earlier, this dish that I'm doing tonight is a little bit more of a play off of a Cuban dish, but it's a Creole takeoff of a Cuban dish. Yeah. Make sure this is all cleaned up. It's been sitting off to the side for a bit. Who knows what is falling into it near the trash there. Music, where'd you go? There you are. I was getting worried for a moment. So actually I want to get this started. That's why I wanted to get this pan out. And under a relatively low flame. We're just going to warm this up and start to render it out while I chop up the other veggies. It's not even time if you go by most people's opinion in the modern take of it. I I see chefs essentially just boil it until you get there. Like this. If you look at the I'm forgetting who's his name. Did a video with. Why am I so horrible with names? Binging with Babish. There was a Creole episode. Cajun episode. Creole? Cajun? You get the joke if you've seen the video. And the way that he does his dirty rice was essentially, let's bring oil to a boil and then dump flour in and stir. And it essentially goes straight dark. And so but I'm forgetting his name. He's definitely I need some onion. Yes. Isaac. By the way, mentioning YouTube, views been just like exploding. I mean, not like I'm trending or anything like that, but all of a sudden I've jumped up to near view counts that I have on Twitch on my YouTube videos. No, he makes a roux, but the way he makes the roux for it is he essentially uses a ton of oil. He brings that oil essentially up to a boil, like ripping hot, and then adds the flour in and goes at it. And at least that's how I remember him doing that. Yes, oven roux are definitely the convenient way, especially if you got the time. Is that maybe... Oh, maybe I'm getting picked up on... Yeah, I'm probably getting picked up on multiple mics. That's what's happening. see the filter over here still. No, I'll get rid of it on both. Give me a moment, folks. I'm fixing my audio here. Okay. And... oh, that's the wrong one. Okay. Okay. There, that's a little better. That's a little better. No. So I haven't heard anything back here. Oh, we do have a little sizzling going. And there's food back here. Maybe I need to turn that up a bit. So as you can see, the oil is coating the pan from that sausage. I'm going to add a little more oil on top of that. Bit of smokiness, also from the sausage. Adding a bit of salt while thinking about smoke, and so I start talking about smoke instead of the salt that I'm putting on. Definitely gonna have to break this out tonight. Nice. It's been a minute since I smashed some garlic. It's been a minute since I bought fresh garlic. Piece of onion paper or skin stuck to the knife and now stuck to my finger. I now realize my cardboard box is showing when I walk over to the dry cabinet. I have a box that I like to put on top of the counter here whenever I'm doing a lot of stuff with the computer, just so that I'm not doing the keyboard and the mouse down like this. But it's not exactly cooking or viewer friendly. Hey Bun Buns, welcome in. Yeah, worryingly though, that mic is essentially taking all of that audio out. Let's see if we can't fix that a little bit here. It's not getting anything in there. I don't know why it's doing that. Audio just confuses me. So adding all that garlic in there. Like, I'm not getting any audio off of my stove mic. No, that's supposed to be good. Yep, confused. Again, I'm not really high heat here yet, so I'm sizzling a little bit, but we're not. Now I'm turning the heat up because I'm going to add the onions in. Going heavy on this here because I'm going to go lighter on it on the beef. That is a smell I have not smelt in a minute. For anyone wondering what I was pouring in there right now. I do suggest you get the one without salt. That one has salt, so I'm having to be careful with the amounts that I use. I've already got a decent amount with that in there. I've got a decent amount with that in there. I'm looking at a couple recipes for this, and yeah, I've got all that in there with the Tony Cacciari's. Back when I was posting all my ingredient challenges up on Twitter and doing a lot more with Twitter, other than just, hey, I'm live, they were one of the few companies that even gave me a thumbs up, or hey, it's cool you're using our product. Which is sort of amazing considering I guess they recognize my greatness. Pureed tomato. giving these ones a shot since the New York Times thought they were great for canned tomatoes. I agreed with most of their stuff, with the stuff that I had tried already in their classification. Like, I have never been a fan of Hunt's tomatoes. They're always so... like, they don't break down. Like, you can cook them forever and they don't break down. I'm rinsing the beans from the can. But surprisingly, those beans are so cooked in that can that spraying them with water was breaking the skins. Excuse me. Yeah, board's just getting all of the love tonight. Like, you can hear everything going on over here. But nothing over here tonight. I suspect that's because I got to refresh OBS. On top of the whole me not being great with audio. No. On top of me not being all that great with audio. OBS is also not that great with audio. And so a lot of the time I'll make changes, and I don't know if my changes were right or wrong, because half of the time I sort of have to reboot OBS for OBS to recognize the changes went through. Clean your can openers, folks. I turn the heat down on this. And we're going to give this about a 30-minute simmer. If you're in a commercial kitchen, you already know that. Like, it's target number one for health inspectors. And I've worked in several kitchens where they were like, health inspector walks in, the first thing you do is you take that can opener, you know, once they're mounted to the table, so you take that thing and throw it in the dish pit. Doesn't matter if you clean it, just get it in the dish pit so we have the excuse that we clean it. And I'm wondering what I have done with something that I thought I had. And bury behind the onions here, no. Not buried under there. Guess not. Alright, so we're simmering there. I was thinking I had green olives. I wanted to throw green olives in this. That was the more Cuban take of it. Cuban take of this recipe, you'll have green olives, stuffed green olives, and raisins in it. So serve a little of the sweet take. And this one will have okra and tomatoes along with beans. Beans can be in either. After all, if you put something in there that's inauthentic, you know the food police are going to come after you. So let's pull out our nicely aged beef, which has lost all of its beautiful color, sitting in my fridge. Not the prettiest color of beef. We need some rice going too here. We're going to stop the camera. Oh, I need a pan or something. That would be helpful. Almost done with my big bag of rice. Oh, I already got a strainer out here for the beans. Just spraying rice with cold water, trying to get all of that excess starch off of it. Even just sitting in the bin there, it's picked up quite a bit of starch, or ground off enough starch. Because it started off when I first started that bin full of rice. It did not take much water at all to make that run clear. And we are not there yet with that. Uh-oh. Yeah. That's where that vacuum packed food saver comes in, or in what I want, a chambered vacuum sealer, which is much bigger and bulkier. And most people wouldn't want to dedicate the room for one that's going to be, something like this on their counter. And like a solid block that's probably at least that high. Sausage Week. Realizing I better do something with Andouille on Tuesday, considering I have lots of Andouille. And I'm going to use one of my normal hacks when it comes to rice. Yeah. That means I don't have half and then half for the morning either. I have to diagnose which fan in the streaming PC case is making noise now. One of the fans is either rubbing against something or it's starting to go and making noise. It's annoying. Though it's not coming across on audio, so that's cool. Neither is the sound from the cooler on the camera. Oh, hey. There's a winner, lentils and sausage. A little cumin, a little spice. I think lentils and I think cumin. I blame a Himalayan food vendor from Marin that I used to eat his food pretty regularly when I was working out of the farmers markets because he was one of the cleaner operations that I've seen there. Although he's bringing everything there, so you don't really see necessarily what's all going on, but he used to put so much cumin in his lentils, and I loved it. It was great. Well, I told you, Bun Buns, and I told Chad earlier, that they put gas in meat. This is what happens when you get exposure to air. That's why they put it ages, it turns. And even though this is still, I mean, I bought this less than a week ago, this is perfectly acceptable for use. It's going to taste a little bit older. I mean, it's older. But safe to use, but no one would buy that. You can see how rarely I do things like this that look like this on my stream too. This is perfectly okay. This has no off smell. I still made a face from that, I'm sure, though. This is not authentic, but this is me. Soy sauce. And using this, thinking about it as salt, and knowing that I already have quite a bit in there, that's all I'm going with that. I would actually hit that much harder with seasoning if it was the unsalted version. Ah! Stay in there. Get in the hole. I think everyone does buns. I think everyone does fluffy. Oh, I don't have any. I was thinking I had a bay leaf to throw in there. I be out of bay leaves. Which is sort of a funny statement if you saw, like, It had to have been like 2 years ago now. But that giant, I had a pot over here with a giant thing of bay leaves, just stems of bay leaves. For quite a while. I let that basically dry out entirely on stream before I got rid of it. But I was wondering what else I want to throw in here. I'm supposed to throw in... Yeah. Is that in this one too? Cranking up the heat there a little bit. And then another thing that's going to sort of differentiate this from other times, typically I'll be sauteing the beef, cooking the beef, want to give it a sear. This time we're essentially going to be boiling it in this mixture. But I'm adding in a little bit of frozen okra. And I'm adding in all of this beef. This is actually a little bit less than the beef in these recipes call for. This is about 1.33 pounds. This recipe calls for 1.5 pounds. That is our rice coming to a boil. I don't know if that came across on mic tonight. Excuse me. No audio at all off that mic tonight. It's like that mic doesn't even exist anymore. Like I said, I think I gotta just restart OBS to get that to go. I feel Zeeks. I feel you on that. I was so annoyed the other day. And that's partly why I'm late tonight. Let's blame it on Amazon. Today was the day that I took the drive out to the Whole Foods that's a distance away from my place. And made my return on my... I bought a radiator. Bought a... what is it? 360? But 3-fan, like, big radiator, full-on radiator for my CPU. And then realized that I'm only going to be able to fit a dual in my case. And so I had to return it. But the only way that Amazon wanted to receive my return was back at Whole Foods. Unless I wanted to pay them money. They wanted to charge me $6 to take it to the UPS store that's like 3 blocks from here. Or $12 to have them pick it up at my door. I'm rehashing the other night's stream here, but I was royally frustrated by that. And not only that, I have a Whole Foods that's closer to me than the ones they're allowing returns to. And so it's like I had to make it. It was at least, well, it was during essentially rush hour here, so it was more like a 40-minute drive. Like, majority of the time that made me late was waiting on that drive because I had procrastinated until traffic got so bad. All of Sonoma is like 1-lane roads. And so you get busy and just you're just bumper to bumper for miles. But yeah, I feel easy because I had that whole computer out, and then, taking the glass off and everything, and I pull up my brand new thing and I put it up to there and like, oh, you no fit. They have to put everything back. And to do this whole thing with the computer down, which is maybe the most frustrating thing, because I'm then, in order to have some form of entertainment while I'm working all of this, I've got my a Raspberry Pi running on my TV. Actually, now that I think about it. You returned it anyways. I might have been able to squeeze it. I might have been able to squeeze it in the front. But it was a no-go in the top for sure. should be able to find one now. The problem now is you've got a whole bunch of imitators out there that are almost as good or close to as good. But with the chip shortage, that was one of the major chips that, like, their chip that they're using for that was one of the major ones that was missing, and they basically stopped production for a couple of years. So as soon as that chip is back in production, they're going to have a ton of competition. You might be able to find a rock pie. I've actually got one of those that's got a busted memory slot that's basically broke. It's useless. If there was any, it doesn't have an OS on it. You have to add the OS by memory. If there was any memory on board, there could have been an OS that could have saved the small little thing. But no. I still might be able to do it one day if I get ambitious and try and load it via Wi-Fi somehow. I don't know if I can even do that without it being set up properly first. Cosmic. I had a friend or two for a couple of years after college that you just get phone calls. Like, it was the only phone calls I would get. It's like, I'd be on the West Coast, so it'd be much easier and earlier, and they're in the East Coast. But yeah, it'd be like midnight my time, 3, 4 in the morning on the East Coast when the bars are closing in New York. Yeah, phone calls. Hey Jay, you up? You're maybe the only person still awake. Are they at least entertaining texts? I mean, I certainly hope they aren't, why did you leave me? Where did you go? That was my timer I set for the rice. The rice is done now. Oh, quiet, oven. But I'm just going to let the rice sit for right now. We're going to allow that to simmer a little bit longer. So I mentioned in the Discord I was dealing with GoPro support yet again, in the fact that, you know, I've made my RMA return, and at least my experience in modern days, when you have an RMA return, typically you get a whole bunch of emails. Typically you get a, hey, we received this back in our place, we may get to it one day. And then nowadays it's typically the same day. They'll be like, it's been processed and going back. And now it's been over a week since they delivered it, received it, according to UPS. And so Tech Lady assured me that they must have it, and they must be just waiting for them to have more replacement cameras to send out to me. But I think she was just, like, trying to console me, like, without knowing what's going on. But anyway, she said she was going to track this down and get me back an email back to me, and yeah, no email. Ah, wanted a little ochre with that too. It's a little like Creole chili. Creole chili. And get rid of that lime. And so I'm just cooking this down a little bit more just to thicken it up a little bit. It's also why I got rid of the lid there. Put the lid back on the rest of that rice. I wanted to allow this to cool down a minute before I put that on the plate. The hope is the starches will gelatinize maybe just a little bit and maybe hold it together a little bit more. This rice is pretty loose. I'm really worried that this is going to fall apart. Stay together. At least to start. Gonna add in a touch of oregano here at the finish. Not showing you the right view there. So that was a bunch of oregano I just dumped in there. The real trick here is to leave the plastic cup in so you don't brush up against the rice at all. Which is what I normally do, and for some reason I didn't do that tonight. If you want to hit that with a little green onion, which is something I sort of realized after I sort of wanted, maybe do a little of that with the rest of the lime. Alright here. So I'm gonna go and enjoy this. This looks delicious. I want to thank everyone for joining in tonight. This was a little bit of a quicker night and a little bit of a later night to start. Greatly appreciate everyone joining in with me tonight. Let's see here. Who's out there in the streaming world tonight? What are we interested in, chat? I think I'm going to send you off to another lovely streamer who's been back streaming a bit now. He is just getting started with the stream. I'm going to send all you lovely folks to go hang out with Mr. Horologist. And sounds like he's working on a family item tonight, but typically he repairs old watches and has a whole bunch of cameras to show all the angles of what he's doing, repairing all the watches. So I hope you enjoy hanging out with him. He's also another great chill stream if you enjoy hanging out late at night. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I'll be back on Sunday, 1 p.m. as usual, as the new usual is. And I'm going to be making my own muffaletta bread. And then making a muffaletta using my homemade muffaletta bread. I hope you come back to join me. Good night, everyone. I hope you all have a great night.